I'm Jen.
I'm Coco.
And
This is Tipsy Talks with Jen and Coco.
It's bestie time.
If you turned your phone off for a week straight, then turned it back on, who would be trying to reach you?
My mom. Well, she would already be at the house, like where,
I think we have to remove
like family.
your mom and your husband from that.
Okay. Oh, I already removed him because I live with him.
Yeah. And your brother, probably.
Yeah, he's got a new lady and he talks to her a lot.
Yay.
So he doesn't call me as much. Yeah.
Good.
It's exciting. Okay. Who would be, it would be you because I don't talk to anybody else. Oh, maybe work. Should we remove that one from the table?
I feel like at this point, if I had my phone off for that long, was it a week?
A week.
My work would just pack me up and
Watching the obituaries.
like, oh, that's where she went. Yeah, I freak out if I don't hear from you after a day. We usually only don't talk for one day.
Yeah, okay. I'm really bad at texting back. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're my best friend.
Oh, I think that it would probably be you, but I think it might take you more days to realize that you haven't heard from me.
Yeah, more than, well, a week is a long time. If I don't hear from you for a week, something's wrong. I'm like, oh, she's really busy. Also, like, you are really busy, but I still hear from you, and I love that. What's one meal you could eat the rest of your life exclusively?
If I were to answer that question right off the bat, I would probably say chicken Madeira from Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, yeah, you love that.
I do. But if it's like an at-home food, probably spaghetti. I love spaghetti.
Like with any meat in it or just red sauce and
Red sauce and meat.
meatballs or ground beef, sausage,
ground beef.
Italian?
No, just plain Jane.
I've been craving spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Okay. I feel like I want to pick like a steak, a loaded baked potato, and a salad.
Damn.
But then like, if that's all you eat, you would die because of all that meat in your gut.
I don't think.
No. Okay. Well, I would pick that.
That's really interesting because we've never. Oh, wait. We have eaten steak at Chili's, which I feel like could maybe be a cardinal sin. Like, I just don't think that
I think
Chili's.
steak is fine.
I love steak so much.
Tell me a trauma story about your first job.
So I was a busser, and
I was too.
if anybody knows me, that's like literally the worst job for me.
Okay. You were a busser.
Yes. Not a good job for me. I am klutzy. I am like a bull in a china shop. And I had I think it was a 12 top. And I was carrying my tray of water.
Oh, no.
And I tripped.
Oh, my gosh.
And all the water went on this poor little girl.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, that would be a trauma story.
Yeah.
I had that happen with iced tea. I had just 4, though, and it was a guy. And he didn't order iced tea, but he's like, I guess I'm having iced tea. But that's not my trauma story. I, too, was a busser and then a server at the same place. And at some point, I had a really big, like a 10 top or something. And the manager and I were both looking at the table to see if they needed anything. And he was coming around a corner as I was coming around a corner. We smack each other dead on, head to head, hit each other. And it's fine, I'm fine, and just move on. The whole restaurant saw it. But nobody mentioned I was bleeding. So I go and pick up another table's like salads from the kitchen to take out to their table as I'm like dripping blood down my face. No one told me. And then I get back and he's like, oh shit. And like I have a scar on my eyebrow from where we hit heads.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was my first. I was a server at that point, so second job, but like same place. So
Oh my gosh. That happened to me when I was in preschool.
You ran into somebody?
My boyfriend,
What was his name?
Travis.
I can't believe you still know this.
Oh, because he knocked out my 2 front teeth.
You had 2 teeth in preschool? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's normal. Sorry.
How many did you have?
I don't. I just picture like a toddler with no teeth.
But I was bald if you got a point out deficiency.
no front teeth and
No hair.
no hair. You were quite the child. Well, did Travis pay for you to get your teeth fixed, or they just were like, they'll grow in a few years?
Yeah, and I didn't have them until 3rd grade.
Oh my gosh!
Second or third
so all
grade.
your pictures, you just
Toothless.
did everyone sing "All I Want for Christmas" or my 2
I
front
don't know.
teeth? No, I would have.
Well, it's
Out
a good
of
thing
love.
we weren't friends then. You weren't even alive.
I was maybe. We
You-
don't know.
We don't know.
How old were you? You're what, 5 in kindergarten? Yeah, I was just maybe being born. My brother was born. Whatever, let's move on. All right, so today, what are we going to talk about?
It's your topic.
I know, and it is dun da da da.
Toxic workplaces.
Toxic workplaces. So I try to think back. All I can, you just remember the worst of the worst. And I feel like it always comes down to the frickin' boss.
Yes.
We had a boss at this nonprofit that I worked at who she was openly lesbian and had a life partner and shared that in her interview. When she was the whole staff got to interview her, and that was her whole personality for the whole time she worked there. And so it was just cool. This is a safe place. There's other people here that are LGBTQ. But she then got at one staff meeting, she became sexist against men, and her whole freaking agenda of hating guys, not wanting to hire them, and all these things came out. This is not good. So that was at a staff meeting where everyone was present, including men. And she was shit talking them and saying they were incompetent and all these things. And then at the next staff meeting, she got us crepes. And we called them guilt crepes because she realized how badly she messed up. Thank God. She's the worst boss I ever had. Just in general of being a boss. If she was upset with you or you did something that she didn't like, she would bug her eyes out and flare her nostrils and take a really deep breath like she was going to blow fire on you. She was so scary. And I was on vacation in New York City, and she called me because she didn't understand this grant report that I had completed, and she was so mad. She was so mad that she didn't understand. And I was literally on vacation. It could have waited. Nothing important. What else did she do? I mean, she was just one of those where I feel like I did her job, so now I resent her. And she just was so toxic for people. People hated her and wouldn't talk to her. And then, of course, they're coming to me because I know everything and I know the tea. So it was just really awful.
Have you found yourself to be the tea holder at all the places you've worked?
It's becoming that way, but it's not something I seek out.
I have also been the tea holder.
I love being the tea holder.
It's so powerful. It's you could literally look at every person and you could just look at them and they know that they need to correct their course because you have the tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love having the tea.
Yeah. She ended up getting fired. And they emailed her. I think this was intentional because the person who was in charge of her was an attorney and very calculated. And so she sent the confirmation email to the board of okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to terminate her tomorrow. And so she had a whole day heads up so that it was, and I was like, no, that didn't, she totally did that on purpose. So she wouldn't have to sit down and do it without it being shocking because she probably was scared of this lady too. But anyway, so
Dang.
now anytime I see crepes, I think, are they guilt crepes? I don't know. But all right, tell me about one of your toxic work environments.
The last place that I worked, I got hired. It was my second job in the field, and I got hired and I didn't really know a lot about the place, but I was really excited because they offered me a raise. So I started, and it was very oddly like a really weird clique who just treated new people like shit.
Oh,
I would walk in every day and I would not know if a single person would talk to me the whole day. And
why?
I have no idea, but I was getting in trouble because they were upset that I wasn't asking them for help, but I had literally just come from a job where that was my job. Same exact job, just a different company.
Yeah.
But it's the rules apply because it's like billing for medical equipment. So it doesn't change from company to company.
Right.
It changes from insurance to insurance. And so they would pull me into these meetings and tell me that I was not being a good learner and I wasn't being a team
Like
player.
your boss or just this clique?
The whole place was
Oh
cliques.
my gosh.
Yeah, from the
Cheesy?
top down, they all ran together. They didn't talk to new people at all. It was weird. It was weird as shit. And so I worked there for 6 months and I was out. I couldn't do it.
They hired you. Why were they so mean to you? It's like
I don't know.
They didn't want you or something.
Shortly after I left, I went to a competitor and they actually were sold to another company. And that office ended up being shut down.
Oh my gosh.
They just weren't like the most above board folks. And so
Yeah.
even now, like being in the industry for 10 years after I left there, it's crazy knowing how shady they were.
Oh, well, it's
But-
good you got out. It's hard because when I think about toxic workplaces, I feel like I lean towards toxic people more than the whole environment.
Yeah, because I think that people are who make it.
Toxic,
Yeah.
right? But how do they recruit others into the toxicity?
Well, I think all you need is just one,
One bad egg.
Yeah. I had a boss who she lied to get the job and she was never at work. She did a bunch of shady shit and she still had people that were her friends because one of the people, they had attendance issues or one of them wanted to get promoted. And so they clung to her for whatever reason because she made them feel like they were her friends. And so she was doing shady shit and then she just disappeared.
Oh my gosh. That makes me think. So when I was 16, I was assistant manager at a home decor store and I was in charge of showing people this is our daily goals for sales and this is how many credit cards we've opened and stuff. So I would show them on the computer, oh, so far we've made $3,000, whatever. And there was this girl and her name was Courtney too. And she was hired on and all of a sudden we get some call. She didn't have a car. She didn't have anything. She was living in a motel. One day I had to take her home, quote unquote, at the end of the day. Because she didn't have a car. And I was like, how did you get this job? You're across town. This is ridiculous. Anyway, so I'm opening and closing. I have key privileges, whatever. I'm opening one day and some guy walks up to me and he goes, do you know a girl named Courtney? And I was like, that's my name. But I wasn't that dumb. So I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, she's going around telling people how much cash is in your store. She told me that yesterday there was over $3,000 that she could swipe and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, first of all, that's not even right. The numbers are for like mostly credit cards. We don't even keep maybe $500. And so I'm like, okay, that was really weird. Thank you for letting me know. Because it was a small town and everybody's really nice back then. And so I just kind of mentioned it to my boss, like, hey, got this weird dude who said that she's going around saying how much money we make. And so then my boss escalates it up the ladder because that's kind of weird. And the police end up getting involved.
Oh my
She's
God.
got warrants or something out for her arrest. I have no fucking idea. But they're involved. And every night for the next 2 weeks, both my boss, her husband, her child would come in while we do closing to make sure we're safe and not being robbed by this chick. And the police would do a ride through the mall parking area. Like they would drive around and make sure, I don't know if they were looking for her or just keeping us safe. So she never came back. I think word got out that we knew she was planning something. I don't fucking know. Then, so months later, I'm at work. I answer the phone like, hi, this is Courtney. And I start getting harassed by this person who's like, Courtney, when are you going to start paying your bills? we have found you and we know where you are. And now we're going to garnish your wages. And I was just like, what the fuck did I do? And then it took me 2 weeks to put it together. Oh, it was the other girl. She must have listed, her place of work or, we don't do background checks or anything. I was so freaking weird. This other assistant manager, her name was Jan, and Jan and Courtney were in cahoots and they were like, we're going to take the other Courtney down. I don't know why, but then Jan would call. I took pride in my closing duties and like the store was beautiful when I left because you got to fix the pillows and all these things. No one else did any of that shit. And Jan would call me in the morning and when she had to open and she'd be like, what happened last night? The store is a mess. The pillows are messed up. It's an atrocity. And so they were creating a toxic environment and trying to push me out. And I was really sad. But then the whole money thing and Courtney just disappeared. And fuck Jan.
What happened to Jan?
Oh, I don't know. I graduated. So this was like for 2 years. I had to then keep working with Jan, who I now hate. She had a super flat butt though, like pancake butt. And I made me feel better about myself. My 16-year-old self. I don't know. I graduated and she was still working there. And I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was the drama at that home decor store. But that was so fun. All my other friends from that store, like I was 16, they were all over 21. We'd like go and drink and just hang out and they would smoke and I would try smoking. And it was just, I didn't go to any high school parties, but I would party with them. So
I had a similar thing when I worked at Carl's Jr. One of my best friends from high school worked with me. We lived in a small farm town and it was like in a bigger town. And most of the kids that we worked with all lived and worked in Greeley, but we would have sauce wars. We would take bags of sauce and pour it on each other's cars. And
oh my God.
it was so fun. It was just, we all worked there from like when we were 16 to 18.
Wow.
Like the biggest years. And
Yeah.
we all had a lot of firsts together. And my friend and one of the kids that we worked with, they got married. They're divorced now, but it was cool.
That's so fun to reflect back. And that's what, I mean, as toxic as work gets, then you just maybe just have to remember the fun times.
Yeah. I think that it's hard because work is a necessity and you have to do it. And sometimes you just have to exist in the shitty environment until something else comes along. Because that boss I was talking about, the one that was just really shady, she was there for 2 years and I just trudged through it.
Yeah.
But it was because of the people I worked with, I think.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was talking about. I would call my mom crying, like days when she would be so mean to me and yell at me or do her like nose flare thing. And what my mom told me, and I just used this recently with someone who was struggling at their work. And I'm like, there's always going to be a Laura. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be a Jan. No matter where you go, you're going to have one. And so you just need to decide, can you put up with it here? Is it worth it? Or do you want to find a new Jan, a new Laura?
Yeah.
And that helps me get through the day sometimes.
So interesting.
Because she's right. Yeah, of course, like her wisdom and age, there's always going to be, that's why she retired early. because her boss was so bad. She was like, I'm done. I'm not going to put up with it. So at some point, you just quit.
What was your best workplace? Like, what did you do and why did you enjoy it so much?
Oh, that's hard. I don't know. I think I would probably pick, because I think each job comes like with a phase of life. When I would say when I was 16, it was so fun to work with people who are 21 and party with them. And that was the best job. But then I think, okay, be a productive professional. What was your best job? I think that when I worked at the nonprofit, there was a sweet spot in there. I was there for almost basically 5 years. And there was a sweet spot for like a couple years where everybody got along, everybody had respect for one another and would pick up the tab if you needed it, kind of thing, just cover for one another. And I felt like we were doing really good things and had good leadership. But then I don't know what influenced this boss, but she just completely switched. And I was at a point in my life that I wasn't willing to give up my integrity. And so I called her out. And then it got really bad. Like the day I called her out, she was essentially what she was doing was she was going to pay someone like $10,000 more. She was working on the budget for the next year, pay someone who's older and was essentially her friend at the job who we never should have hired because they also were really close to the organization in other ways. And so we, did a favor and hired him, but she was going to favor him. And I was like, how am I going to explain this to funders and grants that you're paying someone $10,000 less who has 10 years of experience? And this person started 2 months ago. And I just was like, is it because they're older? Is it because they have experience in other areas? And she just was like, yes. And then the next day I lost all my access. I couldn't do my job. I couldn't log into the server. I couldn't do anything. But I didn't get fired. And so I messaged another girl that I was working with who had all the same access that I did. And I said, hey, this is retaliation. Like, she can't do this. I need access to these files to do my job. And I still never gained access again. I had to email anytime I needed something because she didn't want me to see the budget. She didn't want me to see the shit she was doing. And I honestly wonder now, maybe she was hiding other things that I was going to find, but it more was just like, I don't feel comfortable. This isn't right. Regardless of your age, yes, you have more experience, but not in what this specific job was. And that's where I was not okay.
So did you quit?
No, magically, this was during COVID. COVID had just started. And I had my annual performance review and she was like, I was going to write you up for that, but I'm not going to write you up anymore. And so I'm like, okay. And then COVID happened and I magically was the one that got laid off. Mm. So it all worked out. I feel like I have the best job for me right now and I really enjoy it. And it's getting messier because I'm starting to build more relationships with my coworkers. And that's hard because since all that happened at the other job, like I've shut down and was like, I'm not going to have friends. I'm not going to do anything because it just bites you in the ass. Because the friend that I was standing up for, I'm not friends with. Like when push came to shove, she doesn't even check in on me. Yeah. So it's just kind of like whatever. But like I said, it was meant to be. I have the best job now. I still, after all that, sorry, that was a very long-winded way to say, probably a couple years into, I had the dream team.
Yeah.
At the nonprofit.
Was that when you met me?
Yeah. It was like a couple years after. Yeah, I knew you. We were regular Chili's attenders at this point. Yeah. What's your favorite? Or one that just went to complete shit that was your favorite?
Probably this one.
Why?
Well, for a pretty decent stretch, like in my office, I don't have anybody there who's worked there for less than 2 years. So the majority of us are on the closer end to almost 10 years or more.
Wow.
And so we just we had a group together, and we had a really, really awesome boss, and COVID happened and he got moved to another part of the company. And then he had been grooming me to take on that role when he was ready to move on to that other role, but COVID kind of forced it. And this chick, she was working in the front, and so she had come from our management office, and so they knew her. They didn't know a whole lot about me at that point. I'd only been there for a couple years, and she put on there that she had done all the supervisory things in the field that we worked in, and that she had all this billing experience. She didn't know how to do anything.
Oh my gosh.
And
she must be an excellent interviewer and bullshitter.
But she was there for a couple of years, and she did some shit that wasn't above board. And then she left, just like packed up in the night, left
just disappeared.
Didn't tell anybody.
Oh,
Not
gosh.
a single person in the office knew until somebody walked into her office.
And what, did she leave a note? How did they just were like, her stuff's gone?
Her cell phone, her credit card was cut up on her desk, and
her badge.
her badge and her keys.
Wow. Just Irish exit.
For real, dude. And then
Did she, because she was doing like not above board things, was she like also mean to the staff? Or like she just was just incompetent?
I couldn't, like, we work in an office where it's all women, and she cannot mediate. She
The
just,
drama.
like, if I was having a problem with you and I went in to talk to her about it, and it was something that she needed to address, she would basically incite violence.
Oh my gosh.
Like, she would just feed into it, or, you know, she never diffused anything.
Oh.
So by the time she left, people were literally keeping journals about other people's daily activities because our boss would not do anything about it.
Oh, that's the worst work experience.
It was so crappy. And then
But no one quit?
She did quit.
Well, yeah, she quit, but did anybody else under her quit? Like they couldn't handle her incompetence?
A couple of people left.
The journal people left.
But then, like, I think probably 5 or 6 people actually.
Oh.
Yeah. But the core people stayed, and then she just, like, it was weird shit.
It sounds weird.
And then finally she left, and they brought on this guy who had no experience in our field at all. And he was older. Not old, but like old.
Like just as his pre-retirement coasting job, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like this whole time we're talking about old people like we don't like them. We do like them. It's just
we both work in fields.
I literally
that are
serve
old,
seniors, and so do you.
centric. Yes.
Yes. No, it's just a common theme.
Yeah.
Generations clashing. I don't know.
That could be it. He was a really great guy, and he got me a promotion, but he just could not pick it up, could not understand things. And I do accounts receivable, and I really hate math. And I don't know how to do a lot of things, but somehow I do them, and I do them correctly. So I don't know if it's like a Rain Man type of deal, but it's not really my jam. Somebody came down and was talking to me about financials, and I had a conversation. It was like I was standing outside of my body, because this conversation, I sounded so smart. Like I knew what I was talking about, and then she walked away, and I was like, what did I just do? And then I audibly said out loud, and my whole staff heard me say, God, I hate math. And they're like, you're probably not doing the right job, which is true, but I don't know how I know it, but I hate math. I don't like to, when we go to restaurants, I do not like to figure out what the tip is. I usually make my husband do that.
It's not hard.
It is for me.
But you do receivables. You do numbers all day long.
I know.
How did you get into this?
I have no idea.
Maybe it is like a Rain Man thing.
Like, I'll tell you. So,
Okay, thanks. I did ask.
I'll tell you how I got here, and it doesn't make any sense. When I was 18, I started it was called Sykes, which was a call center. And I worked there. This was after Carl's Jr. I worked there for a few years, and they were closing, but they reopened to support like a special branch of AT&T, and it was doing 800 numbers, like the phone routing for them. And so we did that, and then we ended up leaving there because they eventually closed, and we worked at another call center. I worked at StarTech, and that place got that same AT&T contract. So for a little bit, I did overnight prepaid wireless customer support.
Oh, wow.
That was...
Were you good at it?
Do you think I can't be customer service?
No, yeah, that, but like the technical support piece.
Yeah. Dude, I was like a computer geek. I used to do dial-up. I worked at an internet company. Yeah.
Wow. You knew for my next tech support issue.
Well, if it's related to Apple, I can't help. I don't understand it. Oh my gosh.
What?
Another person just...
Called in to sick?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Are they like forming a protest?
I don't know. I'm not gonna make it in. We're down 3 people.
Wow.
On a
Monday.
one. No, we're down 4 people.
Skeleton crew.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue with
Oh
your
my
story.
God. It's gonna be a bad day.
Aw. You should call in.
I can't. I have to push the button to restart the counting
Oh.
for the inventory.
What an exciting day.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I worked AT&T for 10 years.
Oh my gosh, shut up.
Yeah. I did the routing for 800 numbers for large companies. Like the state of Kansas was one of my customers, and 7-Eleven, MasterCard.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
That is
But then I left there and I worked for a social media marketing company.
Why am I doing the social media? If you worked for a social media marketing company,
Because you've also done that.
not as a company.
Then all of a sudden I'm just working at a chicken company.
Like Napoleon Dynamite? Like with the chickens?
No, like I went to go work at Pilgrim's Chicken, and I worked in customer support.
Okay.
And I can't remember what my actual title was. I would help companies like Chick-fil-A or Publix or things like that got chicken from us. And if they were reporting that there were bones that were in boneless chicken, or if they were short weighted, or if there was something wrong with the product, they would call us. And then we also had to do, you know how when you get a turkey, or on TV, they talk about how you could call the phone number of the turkey company and you could get help with how to cook it or recipes, or...
You can call them?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So it was that. Or we also did the preliminary investigation for if you went to Chick-fil-A and you got a chicken sandwich and there was a bone in it and you broke a tooth or whatever. Or you went to the grocery store and your chicken had hair in it or something like that. They would call in and we did those investigations. And then we sent it off to another company to finish it up because they investigate you when you're making those complaints.
Oh.
To make sure that you're not
Purposely putting bones in shit.
or that you don't do it all the time type of deal.
Okay.
So I worked at the chicken company and I did freight planning for them and collections from them. And I don't even know. It was a fluid thing. After that, I went to another meat company and that was a shitty job too. You sat in a room with like 5 people and nobody talked the whole day. You just sat there in dead silence. You couldn't listen to music. You couldn't be on your phone. Nothing.
No headphones or anything.
Nothing.
Why?
I don't know. It was weird. And then I did prior authorizations for Medicare.
Oh. So just to jump from, this was like customer service, a meat place again.
It was,
and then
I was in some type of
billing or something.
Yeah, I was in billing at this other company. And then I started doing those authorizations. And then I got into the medical equipment field. I got a job where the district manager that was his home office. And the other customer service person that was there was out sick. She had a brain aneurysm. And so I didn't have anybody to train me on the job there. And that's how I got the job now that I have. Now I'm a manager of the whole company, but I did collections and billing from that place. And I don't even know how I learned how to do it because there was nobody to teach me.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't have any education in it or anything.
Well, I mean, that's pretty cool. You just taught yourself and
I failed math in school.
it's okay. Do you use like a software like QuickBooks or something to help balance stuff?
No, I just do it by hand.
With a pencil.
Yeah.
And one of those calculators that like spits out little the tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I picture. And I picture you like
In a dimly lit room.
That's how you got to your job now. And you said that's your favorite job that you've had.
Yeah. But it is going to shit.
One bad week, we will move on. Like, I think all of these we've learned, and now we are wiser and older, and we know how to navigate the workplace a little better. I don't know. Go us.
Yay, us.
Yay. Badass bitches.
Boss bitches.
Boss bitch. Or are we bitch bosses?
I think I'm probably both. They even refer to me as Red Jen.
When you're mad?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a very fine line. Like sometimes they tread it real close.
But you know what I love about that? Is that they know you well enough to make it a Friends reference.
Yeah.
Red Ross! Red Ross!
That's true. I didn't think about that.
So, like, how toxic is it really?
I don't think it's toxic at all. If you set expectations and they know.
I know. I totally get it.
I just don't feel like there's probably a Red Courtney.
There's a Red Courtney. She doesn't come out very much, but she's in there.
At work?
No, I just do it.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You don't have time.
I don't.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We've overshared enough for one day.
Thanks for listening to Tipsy Talks with Jen and Coco, where coping is a personality trait.
If you enjoyed this chaotic little support group,
share it, subscribe, and come back for more questionable life choices.
We'll be back next week with more trauma and less self-awareness.
I'm sorry, that was good. I'm so proud of you.